narrative. So NCTV, are we live at the moment?
Now you are.
Okay, great. Thank you. Hello, folks. Welcome to the HTC. Better late than never. It's 5:23 on Thursday, January 14th. So good afternoon, good evening. This is Ray Pohl, Chairman of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. Please let me confirm that the following members of the board are present. Diane, members, when I call your names, please respond in the affirmative. Diane Coombs. I know you're there, Diane.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Diane.
Here.
John McLaughlin.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Val Oliver.
Here.
And Stephen Welch. Stephen, I know you're there. I know you're there. Did he disappear? He was just there. Come on, Stephen.
Hey.
Huh.
He's having technical difficulties.
Okay, well, and this is Ray Pohl.
Right now.
Ray, I'm here as well.
Oh, hi, Carrie. I didn't see you. Welcome. Carrie Thornwell is with us. This is Ray Pohl for the record, and we're going to be waiting on Stephen to join us in a moment. But in the meantime, let me confirm that the following members of the staff are present. Kathy Flynn.
Present.
Thank you. Holly Backus.
Present.
Very good. Hang on one second. I need to re-log into Lisa's computer. Okay. This open meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order dated March 12th, 2020. We're coming on the 1-year anniversary very soon. That order, posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to convene remotely, so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording, and we are being broadcast via YouTube on the town's YouTube channel. With no member of the public having asked to speak at this time, this particular meeting will not feature public comment. Materials provided to members for the meeting or provided during the meeting are, unless otherwise noted, available on our town's website. During this meeting, I will introduce agenda topics and speakers. So everyone, please remember to mute your Zoom audio until your name is called. And please direct all comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and to make the taking of the minutes easier. Finally, as we all know, votes taken at this meeting will be conducted via roll call. So, having said all that, I would like to have a motion from someone, please, to approve tonight's very, very pleasantly short agenda.
It's even going to be shorter.
Well, yes, apparently so.
So
So,
moved.
Diane has moved to approve tonight's very short agenda. So on that motion, Carrie? No, Carrie?
I'm
Sorry,
muted.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. Val?
I'm here for a split second, Mr. Chair.
Oh, okay. Hi, Abby. Oh, Abby, I'm going to bypass you just for a second, just for this vote. Val Oliver.
Aye.
Thank you. John McLaughlin.
Aye.
And Diane, on your motion? You still
Aye.
there with us? Up. Was that an aye?
Yep, aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you, Diane, and
Yep.
I'm in favor, so that motion
Yeah.
carries. So we now officially have an approved agenda. So if there is any public comment, please, one of the staff members, let me know so that I can read it into the record. Otherwise, we're going to move along to our consent agenda. So just for the record, we have Abby present at this time, Val, John, Diane, and myself. I see that Carrie needs to recuse. Oh, and Val needs to recuse, which brings us to do we have Stephen back on the line?
We do, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so Stephen, if you can hear me, I'd like you to sit in on the consent agenda because Val and Carrie are both recused. Did you hear that? Is he not there?
He just logged off again.
Okay, well, we can do this with 4 people. So, okay, can somebody give me a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, John.
Can I ask, wait a minute.
Go
I
ahead.
need to ask about Walwinet, whatever. I need to ask about a demo
Oh,
on Walwinet Road.
let me clarify. Sorry, the description is wrong. It's a renewal of that's Carrie's project. It's a renewal of a previously, or it isn't.
No, that is a move demo.
Oh, okay. That's
This
what we're waiting. We
This
were
is
waiting for.
41 Walwinet Road. Just what is that? 41 Walwinet Road.
Can I describe?
Yeah, of course, Carrie, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay. It's
Yep.
an existing dwelling. Oh, do you have it up? Is that
Yeah,
it?
there it is.
Yep. It's on the corner of Old Milk and Walwinet Road. It's
Uh-huh.
that building where the cursor is now.
Okay,
There's a house and a garage. And it was built in, I submitted that as part of it just because it was built in 1970.
Hmm. Okay.
And there it is.
Hmm.
My client talked to Toscana, Carl Jelemy, and Carl said to move this building, you'd have to cut it because it's like 28 feet wide or something. The main mass is sort of an open structure that is post and beam, but fake. And there's a lot of open space in it. So moving it would be difficult in Carl Jellemy's perspective, but it was 1970 and you have all the
Okay.
photos and drawings.
Does that satisfy your concern, Diane?
Yeah, I just think that we should just review anything that's demoed on the consent list, just so that we have answers. Somebody asks why we're doing it, okay?
Right, right.
I think that was an honest sort of mistake because there was this, and then there was a renewal last week of a old approval. And that's where I think the mistake was made. Isn't that right, Kathy? I'm assuming.
Yes, I have to agree with you on that one. Yes.
Thanks.
Okay, well,
Mr. Chair,
Come on, Brenda.
hang on.
For-
Holly, go
yes,
ahead.
Mr. Chair, for what it's worth, the NHL data does indicate that it's a 1970s structure.
70s.
1970.
Oh, 1970, yeah, which squares with what Carrie just said. So yes, thank you,
You're
Holly.
welcome.
Now, Diane, if you have a concern about this move off demo, I think what we should do is remove it from consent. But if you're satisfied with Carrie's
No.
explanation,
I'm satisfied. It was
Ye-
just somebody had asked me about it and
yeah,
I didn't know that we had talked about it, so I didn't have anything to say.
okay. Well, I
That's-
think it's legit. So I'm happy that you brought it up, but I think that unless somebody thinks otherwise, I think that I certainly have no concern removing this building in one form or another. So let me see. I believe John made the motion to approve the consent agenda. So
Yeah.
on John's motion, Diane,
Aye.
thank you. Abby? Abby, are you still with us? Oh boy, this is not working out so well. Abby,
Oh,
Abby,
there she is.
are you in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Thank you. John, on your motion.
Yes.
Thank you, and I'm in favor, so that motion carries. So that means that we have just approved the consent agenda. Now I have to log back on to Lisa's computer to see the rest of the agenda. Hang on. Okay, consent with conditions. No one needs to recuse from this. Do we still have our full regular board on board with us at this time? Abby, Val, John, Diane, and myself. If so, that's the board that should be approving this consent with conditions. Would somebody care to
Okay.
make that motion?
I make that motion.
All right. So Diane has made a motion to approve consent with conditions. On Diane's motion, Abby,
Aye.
thank you. Val,
Aye.
thank you. John,
Which one, what happened to Ahab Road? 41 1 Road.
oh, that got approved under consent.
It's under consent. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but John, right now, we just have a motion on the table to approve consent with conditions. Are you in favor of that motion?
I'm sorry, to have a motion.
The motion that Diane just made was to approve consent with conditions. Are you in favor of that motion?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Diane?
Aye.
All right, very good. And I'm in favor, so that motion carries. Gosh, we're through 2/3 of the agenda already. My goodness.
Don't jinx it.
I know. Okay, so now here's where the rubber hits the road. We're now officially on to new business. First item of which is 9 Main Avenue, a pool. And I think I may have seen Steve Thoreau in the queue a minute ago. Oh, there he is. Hey, Stephen, you may want to unmute.
I am unmuted. Good evening, folks.
Okay,
How
hi there.
How's everybody? Well, good evening. What you have before you is an application for a small 12 by 24 pool located between two existing homes at 9 Main Avenue. Main Avenue is a dead-end street with two additional houses located on it. The existing house and pool is not seen from Ames Avenue due to a large cluster of tall pine trees.
Well, can we back up a second, Holly? Because I think this drawing right here is important. Okay, so basically this is a triangular lot. It has New Hampshire, at least as a paper road. It says not constructed. New Hampshire on one side, New Jersey on the other side, and Maine on the third remaining side. So I think it could easily be argued that it's not visible from New Jersey side, but we do have exposure on paper road, New Hampshire, and actual road, Main Avenue. So continue, Stephen.
Mr. Chairman, New Jersey Avenue no longer exists.
Oh, did they do a yard sale?
No, it's been taken over by the dune. So if you back that photo up,
Really?
yeah, back that up for a minute, just for a second. Main Avenue now dead ends here. The New Jersey Avenue now dead ends where it hits New Hampshire Avenue. So
Okay.
this short part of New Jersey Avenue, you cannot drive down it.
The part that's showing on this plan, you cannot drive down.
That's correct.
Okay, and then how about New Hampshire again?
New Hampshire is a paper road, and there is no access on this New Hampshire whatsoever. It is all planted vegetation and grass, which you can see in the photographs that I have submitted from.
Okay, well, we'll look at the photograph. So, but I just want to be clear that like that's a paper road that I think potentially could become a real road, right?
I do not know, honestly.
All right. Well, so there it is. It's an open question. Oh, this is helpful.
Yeah,
This is super
it's
helpful.
not there.
Yeah, could we just leave it there for a second? Because I got
Yes.
so confused out there.
Yeah. Okay. So, Abby, you can see lightly that the road that sort of disappears into the sand on the left-hand side says New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay, it just sort of dies into the sand. You
But
can
I
also
know
see-
where number 7 is. I got to number 7 and then I couldn't find anything labeled 9 on Main. So what, could you clarify that for me?
The butters across the street are 6 and 8, Abby.
Yeah, yeah. But I got to 7 Main.
There is no 7 Main because you come in off of Ames up here and come down. And then there's 6 and 8 Main, and then this is 9 Main right here.
Well, I saw a clear 7 and I went down Main for sure. And I got to the end of the road, which I think is at the corner of your lot. And then I looked over and there was kind of a dune that sort of must been sort of spilled over into the, I just don't feel comfortable commenting on this if I'm not sure if I saw the
That's where
site.
it is.
Yeah,
We're in the right
does
place.
anybody else understand where this is?
I think it's important to think back a few weeks to some applications Stephen had in there to renovate one of the structures.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a shed
Yep.
slash something. And there were some changes to it and we looked at it a few times. I think that's helpful if those pictures are anywhere that we could see just to refresh our memory. Because there's no pictures that I saw of the structures in this particular application.
There are photos there in the application of the structures.
There is?
Yes.
Sorry, Stephen, we sort of sidetracked because I think there's issues, about,
Oh, no, I understand.
yeah.
I'm really familiar with this lot. The road used to bend right around this property.
Oh,
But as Stephen said, the beach has overtaken it.
Oh, here,
and
okay, there's a skin eel or,
That's the eel skin in.
yeah, the eel skin in. I went by that.
That's
And
the property.
Yeah,
That's the property, eel skin in, and then the bigger house just beyond it.
then can you put them in the,
Eel Skin Inn is the property, is number 7, is number 9 Main?
It's all one property, right, Stephen?
That's correct.
Okay, all right, that's where I was today. I just didn't see, there, nothing was clearly marked. Obviously, it's like a sort of a random neighborhood of sorts. All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just had to,
yeah.
before I say anything, I just want to make sure I'm talking about the right thing.
Well, we're sort of moving quickly through these photographs, but I think they're very important. So maybe we should back up a little bit. And Stephen, if you could just sort of like, right there,
Yeah.
we have a photograph that says pool. I don't quite exactly know where that's pointing to.
It's pointing between the 2 buildings. The photo on the left is taken from Ames Avenue, showing the large cluster of pines that are there. So the pool is centered between these 2 buildings, and it conforms to all the setbacks of zoning, and it's pushed back from the road. It is more than 100 feet from the coastal dune, which means we're out of the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I've asked the board to review the application in the same manner they review all pool applications regardless of the location. The pool has a 14-inch bluestone coping that surrounds the edge. A small patio is shown on the grade and is specified as random bluestone with spaces between the stones to grow sedum and moss. There are just photo examples of the random bluestone in the area, and I've enclosed a photo of what the patio will look like. The pool is a saltwater pool and is equipped with an automatic cover system. To the rear of the property is the mechanical system for the pool. The equipment is surrounded by a type 2 fence, natural to weather. The equipment is among native existing vegetation, and additional screening of northern bayberry will be planted to shield it from the rear neighbors. The front of Main Avenue will be screened from sight by 2 tiers of planting. One tier will be a privet hedge. The hedge will be similar to all of the existing hedges that appear in the photographs submitted that run along Ames, Rhode Island Avenue, and Massachusetts Avenue. In front of the privet hedge, there'll be native plants, a mix of northern bayberry, beach plum, and eastern red cedars. As you can see by the planting descriptions on the page that I've submitted, these plants will grow between 5 and 7 feet tall, and the cedars are considerably taller. The plant species was selected from the Massachusetts Coastal Bank plant list for exposed areas of a coastal bank. This is what the state of Massachusetts recommends we plant in this location. The driveway has an existing fence to shield the pool from view. An additional panel of the fence is proposed to enclose the screening. The rear of the pool will be screened with an additional privet hedge and existing native plants and grasses. Thank you.
Okay.
Ray, could I ask a question of you?
Yeah, well, sure, Diane, go ahead.
Has this been to the Nantucket review committee?
My guess is yes.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes, it has.
Well, but so here it is, Diane, and that would, Steve, assuming Stephen's finished, and I believe you are, right, Stephen?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, so the next in line would be to hear from Nantucket Advisory. Here it is. Holly, would you be so kind as to sort of read through this?
Absolutely. So it looks like Nantucket Advisory is not in favor of the pool in this location. Their concerns, they feel a viewing by the HDC is critical prior to any approval. It has to be said that once you cross Millie's Bridge, the environment, structure, setting, landscape are totally different from the Nantucket proper. There is no specific planting plan submitted with the application, as should be, nor is the location of the pool equipment shown on the plan on submission of the application, generally required by the HDC. This application should be held for complete planning detail and location of the pool equipment and how it is supposed to be screened. The HDC should not have to come up with where their equipment goes or what type of plantings should screen it. The applicant needs to provide that and a view from the street of proposed plan upon submission and not leave it up to HDC to design for them. Inappropriate location for a pool in important area of Nantucket next to Eelskin. One of the few remaining original structures on Smith's Point, other than the area past the bridge. I will notate that NHL indicates that Eelskin is circa 1860 bungalow. This is a sensitive area with older structures and unique landscape. Of the 50 units on Smith's Point, Fred Rogers and Eelskin is the oldest historic contributing structures, and having modern convenience such as a pool next to Eelskin would be would not be appropriate. It would be the only pool past the bridge in a wide open outwash landscape, which is different than the area of Nantucket on other side of the bridge, not in context with the neighborhood whatsoever. Screening would draw attention to the pool. Ground cover in that area is naturally low, indigenous, close to the beach grass and other rough vegetation. Less than 2 to 3 feet in general. Any new plantings would create an unnatural landscape barrier and draw the eye to it, particularly as it would be located right along Main, as the pool is close to Main. It would also be in the view shed from other area of Smith Point towards the ocean, being proximate to the beach. In all likelihood, non-indigenous and other high plants would not survive. There are very few that have tried to create a more formal landscape scheme done by professional landscapers on Main, and all have for the most part died. Any of the other few hedges on Point are farther away from the beach, not directly impacted by the ocean spray or protected by old cedar trees or other structures. Due to the location of this lot close to the coastal bank, there is no such protection for any new plantings in a sandy soil. Should the non-indigenous plants that provide screening die, there would be no screening for the pool. In any event, any required natural screening would have to be indigenous and would likely be 2 to 3 feet height, and ultimately would not provide any site protection from Main Avenue. Berming to hide the pool and elevate planting is completely inappropriate. There is no created berms in the point. The landscape is flat and the lot is flat. A curved 36-inch rock retaining wall with cap to hold back the berm from Main is close to Main and is totally inappropriate and out of character with the neighborhood. No other walls appear on Smith's Point. In other areas of Nantucket, the HDC has in the past considered what actions to have take place in order to screen a pool. Excessive screening fencing creates an unnatural barrier and actually brings attention to the pool. In this open landscape, it would certainly be out of place. Will need ZBA approval. Sidebar, I have touched base with Ms. Eleanor Antonetti, zoning administrator, and they have not submitted that application, and I'm sure aware Stephen knows he needs to do that. Many of the objections expressed by members and the public in person at the MBA meeting and later are not within the purview of the HDC and better left to expressed by the ZBA meeting. Landscape disturbance will be extreme to install a pool and would likely erase what ground cover is there presently. There is no topo map height of the berm, the schematic from Maine to show the berm plantings as viewed from the road. A letter from Pat Capote, Catchpole, 8 Main Avenue, directly across the street, read into the record, mentioned the quiet nature of the area, noise from pools, inappropriate erosion, fragileness of the area, lights from the pool in a very dark skies positive area. Yeah, dark skies compliant. Steps from pristine beach, how children are protected from the attractive nuisance. No pool fence, a fence would also be inappropriate. Area has remained relatively unchanged. Bonnie and Barb Harvey at 6 Main, been there for 48 years. Others have put in tall formal plantings, all have died. Some hedges on the point on Rhode Island Avenue and Mass Ave have distance from ocean and protected by other older cedars and houses. This is wide open, so plantings here will not survive. Red letter into record. An in-ground pool completely out of character in the area, danger, unfenced, dangerous precedent. When site visit, you can see the remnants of plantings that have died off and were done by professional landscapes and all have died. Area by pool is still exposed to ocean. Steve Murphy, 5 Rhode Island, 40 years. 3 winters ago, water had encroached onto the lot, out of character with the area. This is not like the rest of Nantucket on the other side of the bridge. No security fence, old ill-skinned house rented by multiple children. When HTC takes site visit, look at the limited growth above 2 to 3 feet and what it is and where it is. What is there is inadequate to cover the pool as close to Main Avenue. Those seems to be their comments. And I would also like to notate that for what it's worth, it's not under the HTC's purview, but the town is going through a coastal resiliency planning process. And this is very close to the water. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Holly, that you should be a senator. That would be like a
Yeah.
perfect filibuster.
Mr.
Another
Chair,
24 hours and
Mr. Chair,
yes, Kathy.
if I may, so the Medicaid Advisory Board met on the 4th of January,
Yeah.
reviewed the previous submission, and then Steve submitted new plans in response to their concerns. There is another from Peter Holmes that came in on Monday that hasn't been read into the record, but everything else you have received.
Okay, so let me make sure that I understand what you just said, Kathy. So all of those Matticat advisory comments, Stephen has the submission that we're looking at right now is the revised submission based on Matticat advisory comments that.
Yes, and right, and Medicaid has not seen it because I didn't receive the submission till after. It was a posting conflict, so I couldn't post
Okay.
Medicaid for them to review the second submission.
Yeah. I kind of understand because I think one thing that was referenced in there, which I don't remember Stephen mentioning at all, was a 36-inch high retaining wall. Is
No,
that no longer part of the
it is no longer part of the process. And if we can review some of the neighbors' photos for a second,
Yeah.
the neighbor directly behind the house on Rhode Island Avenue has a 4-foot bermed hedge planting. If we could scroll down to some of the neighbors on the, keep going, keep going. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. This one, right? No. Yeah, this one right here. Let's go back for a second. This is the neighbor directly behind. And you notice he's bermed up his hedges by about 4 feet in the air. And all the hedges out there have survived. Actually, they were quite green this month when we went through there just to take photographs. You know, again, this is a bunch of people who aren't used to, are used to having things the way they are. I understand that, you know, they could potentially change. I don't want to say, but, you know, I'm trying to be tactful here. They have what they wanted to get, and they're just trying to make it difficult to review this as a normal pool process so it would on any given location on the island. That's all. Thank you.
Mr.
right.
Chair, can we hear?
Ray, I have a,
Wait, Diane, hold that thought just for a second because I believe Abby started in.
Yeah, I wanted to hear from other board members.
Oh,
So
But
like,
you mean you want to hear from other board members before you speak?
no, like me, no.
Wait, so Diane was interested in speaking, so should we let Diane speak?
Okay,
Well, Abby, did,
go ahead, Diane. I'll
right.
go after Diane.
okay, very good. Diane, you go ahead.
The first thing I wanted to ask, has this been in front of the Conservation Commission?
It's outside of 100, right?
Yep, it's out of their jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Outside of 100 what?
100 foot
100
buffer
feet.
zone.
Well, that's number one. Number two, you look at the hedges that you tell me are nice and green. I can see through every one of them. And that's on Rhode Island Avenue. Those are the ones I have on my iPad. I can see through them. Second of all, one of the things that the HCC has been concerned about, and I have been chirping about for the last month, practically weekly, is that the mission of the HCC is to keep an area conducive to what has been there. It is not forced, and it is the primary decision of the HCC to do that. That fits in or doesn't fit into an area. This is Smith's point, which changes regularly from year to year, storm to storm, whatever. And to put a pool, allow a pool to go in where is not able to be completely behind screens, because look at your picture of the little house on Rhode Island and it says privet. You can see through it. I'm looking right through it. I don't know when you took these. The other one with the two garage, you can see through that. I don't think that this is a place that fulfills our mission of maintaining a landscape or a streetscape or town area. So that's what I have to say.
Okay, Diane, thank you. Let's see, Val.
Well, I actually agree with Diane. I think it's the same for me as pools in Cisco. I think that it's going to jeopardize the aesthetic and the quality of the existing visual environment out there. You know, we do require screening, but I think that the screening at the very least needs to be rethought. And this is a beachy seascape comprised of informality and natural vegetation. The reason most folks are drawn out there is because of the informality compared to other places on the island. It hasn't been goochified yet. And I don't think it's going to blend in, and its presence will be intrusive to the natural landscape. So I am not in favor of a pool, and especially near a very historic structure.
Okay, thank you, Val. John.
Could you move the whole, could you go up 2 notches, please? Hey, thank you. I wish I'd do that with all of them. I can't see on this computer. Thank you.
There you go.
That's it. That's fine right there. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. The pool is 12 by 24.
Yes, John.
Now, it showed on another one that you had hedges there. Where are the hedges? It says privet hedge right in the middle of it, okay? Now, where the pool, as you come down to the pool and you keep coming down, well, it's got Eastern Bayberry there. It, is this a pool have a covering or no?
Yes,
It does? It has a
it
roll?
does.
Then I don't think there should be any problem with it. Thank you.
Okay, John.
I'm
So
talking about the pool.
what?
I was talking about the pool. There's no, it shouldn't be a problem if he's got it all covered up where you can't see it from the street that's travel away.
Okay, yeah, we understand. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Abby, back to you.
Yeah, so the Smith Point neighborhood, I drove out there today and drove around trying to find it. I know Jackson Point well. I used to go to Tuckernuck from there, and Mr. Rogers' house, everybody knows that. I've seen, the chairs where the people sort of set up their chairs on the harbor. I mean, it's the most relaxed, laid back area of the island, really. And it's really just a dune. It's really just a dune. I think it has its own particular character. It's different from any place else on the island. And I think setting a precedence of allowing a pool there, it would take away from its character. I think it's sort of an anomaly place, and I don't want to lose that. Thank you.
Okay, Abby, thanks. So Stephen, my thoughts are similar to what has already been said. I'll say, back to Holly's observation about the coastal resilience. Clearly, there's a lot of shifting sand out there and shifting landscape. And so I think the best efforts that you might make to screen the pool will either in short order or in less short order be removed just by nature of the fact of the shifting sands. So that's troublesome. I think that the idea of keeping it very informal is hugely important. And I think Kathy mentioned that, Stephen, you had made revisions based on the Nantucket advisory comments that were read by Holly at this meeting. But I think that this should go back to Nantucket advisory for another view now that we've had a chance to review it and now that would fit into their schedule. So those are my thoughts.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
seems like there is more opposition from the HDC than, and getting an approval would take. If the board feels they want to deny this application, then so be it. I will go back to my client and let them know that the application for the pool was denied by the HDC.
Well, okay, so
the Nantucket Advisory Committee is made up of 5 people who live in this area who don't want the pool in the first place. So I don't think that's kind of worth going back to them when they're only going to say the same comments.
well, but I think that didn't you adjust some of your plan to?
I did, but it was clear if you watched that Nantucket advisory meeting that everybody on the advisory meeting who lives in Nantucket was strongly opposed to this pool.
Yeah, well, Stephen, I'm sure that you've watched enough Zoom meetings with us to know that pools are a very hot button issue these days.
Oh, no doubt. I didn't say it was, we're taking a run at it. So this is where we are with it. And I appreciate
but so the choice is really yours. I mean,
okay.
If you want a denial, I think that we would oblige you. We certainly always, we want to use that as sort of like the last resort. But if you're thinking that this is just not going to work, we could issue a denial so that you can move forward in a different manner.
Well, if the board thinks it's worthwhile to take it back to matter advisory, and that possibly could change their mind in the future, then I'd be certainly willing to do so.
To be clear on that too, I think I was the only member of the 5 members that mentioned going back to Nantucket advisory.
Yes.
Maybe the motion will be to send it back. Maybe it won't.
Okay.
But
I'll wait to hear a motion.
And Mr. Chair,
let's see. Kathy, did you just say something?
yeah, I just wanted to clarify, during the meeting, Linda did express what the HDC's purview is, what can be seen from a publicly traveled way. So that, outside of what Stephen just said, I just wanted to make that clear that reiterated several times during the meeting.
You mean what the Matticat advisory said, not that.
Well, the HTC's purview is only what's visible from a publicly traveled way.
Right.
So I just wanted to clarify that.
And those are publicly traveled ways.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't think we should deny it. I think we should hold it for somebody to rethink it, because if we deny it, they're just going to appeal it to the Board of Selectmen.
Well,
Okay, but
through the chair, I think we should, I think Steve should withdraw it, is my thought.
well, okay, now, whether Steve wants to withdraw it or not is completely up to him and his client. And whether, if it gets denied at our board and then it goes to the Board of Selectmen, I'm not even going to hazard a guess about whether our denial will be overturned or what. But generally what we do, because this is being reviewed for the first time, it would be foolish of us to issue a denial unless Stephen said that he, there's just no way that this is going to move forward and he wants to, take it to the selectmen. So what we should, as a courtesy, do for him and his client is motion for revisions.
That's
based
what
on our
I
comment.
think, yeah.
Right. That would be the polite thing to do.
I
So,
think that's a good idea. I think you can rethink it. Cedars, definitely, please don't. Those are just so not good. I think you can come up with something, and whether it goes to Matticat or not, we have a chance to look at it again.
okay,
What about a motion to go back to the Matticat Advisory Board and for revisions as a motion?
okay, well, so I think there's two things in there. One is to have Steve revise his plans based on our comments. And before we hear it again, it would be heard once again at Matticat Advisory with the revisions.
Okay.
That's your motion, right, Abby?
I think that's right, yes.
Okay, so on that motion, Val,
Aye.
thank you, Diane. Diane? John?
Aye,
Oh,
aye,
there's
aye, aye.
Diane. Okay, John,
Aye.
thank you. Val?
Aye.
I did you already?
Yeah, but I'll vote again.
And Abby, on your motion?
Aye.
Okay, and I'm in favor, so that motion carries. Good luck, Stephen.
Oh, thank you very much for your time, guys. Have a good evening,
See
okay?
if we can work
Thank you.
something out on this.
All right,
Okay,
thanks
thank
very
you.
much.
All right, now, so you forgive me because now I've got to go log back into Lisa's computer to get the next agenda item. Unless somebody would care to just tell me what it is.
Yeah.
me.
It's 50 Eel Point Road, Ethan, new dwelling.
This is
Hi.
Mr. Chair.
Is that you, Stephen?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, and whoops,
You just
you
fell.
there?
Yeah,
Sorry, little catastrophe at this end. I just want to let you know, I was back on and I actually sat through the Matticat pool just for Terry. Thank you.
oh, okay, good to know. Thank you.
sorry, Mr. Chair, can Steve sit in on me? So I was going to go at 6:15 and I don't want to hold things
Well,
up.
I appreciate your sticking around. So, Stephen, is that, well,
Terry's been sitting.
when you leave, well, Stephen can sit on this application, but then we're going to go into a rotation. It's going to be all.
Yeah, no, of course. I meant Carrie and Steve.
Yeah,
I didn't mean-
yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you, guys. See you later.
Thank you, Abby. Good night.
Night, night.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so it's a new house. And going, as you can see in the photographs, it's going right where the arrow is. The lot is fairly flat. There is some wetlands on there. And that's the house directly next door, and it's gonna be lower than that. It's like a valley. And on my plan, I have the
Okay.
house behind it on the site plan. As you can see, that's the location of that one.
All
And
right.
I moved it out of the wetlands, kind of on a flat area away from Eel Point Road. Ranger Road is a dirt road that is traveled.
Okay, so Ethan, we're now looking at the site plan and the
Yeah,
locus. So I'm looking at a site plan that has a house already there.
that's the one in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just a reference to show that's where the neighbor's house is kind of located.
but why are we looking at the neighbor's site plan as opposed to yours?
No, that's my house. Yeah, that's mine.
Okay, that's your, and then this existing building, is that the one way
That's
down?
one on behind, just to show the
Okay,
you
is
know.
that the one that we just saw the photograph of?
No, that's where the north arrow is. That I didn't have that one. That's brand new house. So that big house is right where kind of where that north arrow is.
Okay.
I mean, you guys, it was just built like what, a year ago, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Matt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
And
let's
then-
take a look at your
Got it.
plans and elevations. Oh, it's big. Big. How tall is it, Ethan?
It is. Whoops.
We can zoom in on it.
I'm zooming in on mine. It is 28 feet plus or minus.
Well, 28.6 is what.
28.6, yeah. And it's still, because of in the valley, the second floor would be kind of around the level of the first floor level of the house next door.
What? Say that again?
If you look at the photographs,
Yeah.
this house, because it's in the lower area, the second floor of this house is roughly around the little higher than the first floor of the house next door. So it sits low in the area.
Okay.
And I did submit in a separate email, I did submit photographs of all the surrounding houses. The files are quite large, and it's kind of the average of everything out there. They're big buildings.
Okay.
Yeah, there they are.
And this is on the south side of Eel Point Road, correct?
This is, yes.
Okay.
And this house is also not white. It's going to be gray with black windows.
That's a help. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't really like the white in those areas.
Right.
Oop, I did that one twice.
Yeah. That's an unfortunate Botticelli and pole house
It is.
dating from like
Like a roof
25
walk.
years ago. Yeah, sad. Okay. Ethan, what sort of assurances do we have? So you say that it's like the second floor of this is going to be equal to the first floor of the big
Well,
house next door. How do we know that?
I'm just, when I drove,
Put up.
what?
Have some height poles put up.
We can do that.
That's a good idea.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
On that-
Stephen.
on that point, I think I'd like to ask for Ethan, it's pretty common for us in this area and with homes on a hill to get a cross section of the site. And I think he could superimpose an outline of the other structure in the background on one of those cross sections.
Mhm.
Like I did on that Bassett Road project.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful in probably a couple different ways. Thank you.
Okay. Well, so I've heard height poles in a section through. Does any other member of the board, Diane, we haven't heard from you, comments on this application?
Yes,
No, I think that I'd like to see it brought down some feet, even though it is, what did we say, 28.6.
Yep,
And what
28.6.
struck me in some photographs that Stephen submitted with the skirt on the widow's walk,
Hmm.
it is over powering on the roof. If a widow's walk is allowed, I would remove the skirt. It's
Okay,
it makes that roof busy with the two gables and that. So that's all at
Okay.
the moment.
Thank you, Diane. John, you were about to say something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I just figure, like the rest of them, can you jack this up 3 notches? I have to keep asking for that. It's hard to see. Thank you.
How about now, John?
One more.
One more? Okay.
Thank you.
There we are.
Okay. Now, right over the door, the front door there,
Mhm.
on the right, it's got a 4 and 12 pitch written there.
Mhm.
And 7 is minimum on gables. That's one point.
Okay.
Yeah. This is no different than a lot of houses along that road, other than the length of it. Now, my question is, could we go to the right side of it? I don't know which is north and south, east and west, but you only got one here.
Oh, you mean the right elevation? So this is facing north, it's facing the sound. So the right-hand side would be east.
that.
West, okay, all right, that's
Oh.
good. That's it, that has a, see, I can't read what the dimensions are for the gable on the west side.
You mean the height of the gable, John?
The pitch.
5 by 12.
Roof
Oh, the
pitch.
pitch.
Yeah, it should be a
It's a
6.
512.
Yes, but John, that's actually on a porch roof, the 5 and 12,
Right.
which generally we allow.
I'm talking about the, okay, you gotta go to the east, the next step to the right, where there's a little deck there.
Oh, let's back up a bit and then move. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, on the right, that
Yeah.
gable.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, that's less than 7.
Yep.
The
Definitely.
other one, my question is, on the left side of this, on the west side, the left side, are those arched shingle ways on the decks, or are they squared?
Oh, the columns?
No, above them. There's two shingled areas right there for the deck, second floor deck.
Yeah.
All right. Now, is that the way you look at it? Is it curved or is it squared off?
Squared off.
Well, okay, Ethan, I think John's point is more, the one that we're looking at straight on seems squared off, but the one to the left of it does not. It looks
Right.
curved.
It is.
It is
Look
curved.
Look at the
So,
floor
John-
plan.
What?
Look at the floor plan.
That's a good idea.
The other direction.
Yeah. So
There you
the
go.
first is the one, okay, the one facing north, John, you can see it there, is
Yeah.
curved.
Yeah, that one is curved, right?
Yeah.
It should be, if you're gonna, one's gonna be square, the other should be squared.
Okay.
And I think it's inappropriate, and a lot of those houses have them curved.
Mm-hmm.
That is my front. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, John. Let's see, Val?
I think it's appropriate in the area. I think having a view with the posts is going to be very helpful and telling. And that's all I have to say, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
That
thank
I
you,
wish
Val.
people looked at these ahead of time.
Okay, thank you. Stephen?
Yeah, I'm good with,
could
I'm
you
good
say-
with, I'm sorry. Was there a motion?
No, we're
Okay,
looking
can I
for
make
any
one?
additional comments you have.
I actually, my comment was I'm good with it with my prior comments. I'd like to see the sections
Oh,
in order
okay.
to proceed with further comments.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Stephen. And my comments are, yeah, I would like to see these little 5 and 12 roofelets particularly the one over the front door, go to a steeper roof pitch. I would also be in favor of height poles. And I appreciate the colors because the white is very conspicuous out there. That's,
Can I ask a question?
yeah, go ahead.
Where is it written about the 7 pitch on roofs? I've never heard that.
No, if you read Building with Nantucket in mind,
Uh-huh.
main gables, not porches, main gables, the minimum roof pitch is 7 and 12, minimum.
So all those 6 pitches that we've done, no one cared, right?
Well,
Yeah. Okay. I'm just curious. I've never heard this of all the years I've been doing this. So
Yeah.
I'll fix it.
well, that means that you must not have read Building with Nantucket in mind.
Oh, I read it. And I read the
Okay,
5.5% one.
Okay. So sounds like we want height poles, some revisions. Can somebody make a motion for me, please?
Hold for revision.
Ah, there we are.
Yeah.
Diane has made a motion to hold for revision. Hey, Diane, I'm going to sort of embellish your motion just a
I
wee
was
bit.
just gonna ask that too.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Diane, one thing that we want to have in your motion is for height poles on either end of the main gable. It's not really
Yep.
a gable, it's a hip, but we all know what we mean there. Height poles, and also to Stephen's point, as included in the revision should be a site section that shows us the topography all around it and verifying the fact that it's so much lower than the house next door. So
Maybe
that's,
we could have topography map site.
yeah,
With-
right.
That would be handy too.
Okay, very good. So on Diane's motion, John,
Aye.
thank you. Val,
I,
thank you. Stephen,
Aye.
very good. Diane,
I,
and I'm in favor of that motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, can somebody give me what the next item on the agenda is? Up, I just saw the agenda. Oh,
It is Ben Norman, 34 Westchester Street Garage.
okay, Ben, are you here?
He is. He's,
All right.
I'm here.
there he is.
You guys ready for me?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so this is a garage. It was built in the mid 40s. And all we're asking for tonight is the removal of the mechanical chimney, or the chimney that's only services a mechanical heating system, and to re-roof it in natural to weather cedar shakes to match the historic main house. That's all we're asking for.
Okay, that seems pretty straightforward. And by the way, Carrie is going to be sitting on this application for you, all right?
Okay, and I just want to, mention to the board, we are coming back with some other small things to the garage to try to improve the character of it, but that'll be in a couple meetings, so I just don't want
Okay.
to surprise you.
But I mean, for our purposes right now, all you want to do is
Yep.
remove that chimney and redo the roof. It's presumably asphalt now,
It is, yep,
and you just want to do it as red cedar.
yep, to match the house. The historic house is a cedar roof.
Oh, okay, very good. All right, board members.
I would motion to approve.
That sounds like a good thing to do. So if anyone sitting on this has any concerns, please tell me. Otherwise, I'm going to go down and I'm going to entertain Val's motion to approve this as submitted. Any concerns from anyone, including Carrie?
Yes.
No concerns.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. John, go ahead.
Here we go again. I like to look at the size of these windows. Windows.
It's built.
What?
It's an existing structure.
What do they want to do? Reshingle it?
The roof
Reshingle and
take
remove the
down.
chimney.
Oh, move it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, but I
Mr.
just noticed Holly was waving her hand. So Holly, what's up?
I think her audio is gone.
Oh, Holly, we can't hear you, dear.
I
Oh,
can go grab
wait,
the comment. I can go grab the comment. Stand by.
Oh, it had HSAB.
I actually listened to that meeting, or I was there.
And do you recall what they had to say about it?
I think there was minimal concern about the chimney. Some were, wanted to keep it.
Holly's getting
did.
readmitted, sorry. Ben, were you at that meeting?
I was not. I did.
Oh.
I'm surprised it wasn't on consent. I'm sorry. It didn't seem like a big deal. So
All right,
couldn't
well,
find
there
it.
may be something in Holly's,
Sure.
Mr. Chair, can you hear me now?
yes,
Ah, there
There
she
she
is.
is.
Sorry, I don't know what happened, but anyway, so HSAB met on January 4th.
mhm,
They did not have a quorum. We only had 2 members that made comments though. And no issue with the roof. We would agree with that.
mm,
There was a comment about not liking the removal of the chimney. That it due to the utilitarian use of the structure. This is indicated of a 1945 garage apartment, obviously not as significant as the Richard Gardner home. So those are the comments, Mr. Chair.
okay,
Sorry about that.
all right, thank you. Okay, Carrie, can we start with you?
Start with me, sure. I still don't have a problem with it. I don't think the chimney is making this building.
I'm with you, sister.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Look at that roof
Actually,
pitch.
Val, did you make a motion to approve?
I did.
Okay, so thank you for the HSAB comments, but I tend to agree that this is not like a very sort of, it's a very utilitarian chimney, not very graceful. So there is a motion on the table to approve this as submitted. That motion was made by Val. On that motion, Carrie,
I
Diane,
Aye.
thank you, John,
Aye.
thank you, Val.
Aye.
Motion, oh, and I'm in favor and the motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next up, let's see.
Is Ben again.
It's 22 the Boulevard.
Okay.
22 the Boulevard.
So you guys ready for me?
Looks like it, thank you.
So we had this barn structure approved maybe a month or a month and a half ago. Since then, my client has decided to take the second floor program completely out of this building. So we're removing all the dormers, the second floor balconies. So that there's the before, here's the after. We are doing a couple other small changes to the massing with that shed roof, and then we are adding a large chimney on the.
Oh, yep.
But hopefully, in impact of everything, the removal of all these dormers is really cleaning up this building into a much more tidy little building. So especially on the back as you'll get there.
Ben,
Yep.
if memory serves me, this southeast elevation, that's the one that faces the road, right?
Southeast faces White Hart, but if you
Oh,
go back to the
right.
site plan, you'll see it's quite set. White Hart dead ends, and then this is set back another 50 feet. There you go.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So that chimney mass is on the opposite side, facing the neighbor's
Okay.
property, and you can see that corner of it, the southeast. But
Mhm.
I think we've reduced impact rather than provided more. So.
Oh, you got rid of that big old staircase too,
Yeah,
huh?
there's no second floor in this building anymore. It's a little loft.
Uh-huh. Okay,
That's access from the interior. Yeah, there's the back.
all right. I should have said for the record that if Stephen is available on this one, he would be the next in the rotation to be sitting on this. Are you there, Steve?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
John, comments?
Yes. It's hard to see again. Here we go. We're gonna run this for 10 years or what?
Hopefully
Thank you.
not.
It's nice to have it large enough you can see the red marks. Thank you.
Do you have any concerns with what Ben's doing here? He's actually removing quite a bit.
Is he just marking the chimney or is he marking the cupola with it?
Well, so John, the building got approved with the cupola. He's adding the chimney, but he's subtracting those dormers and he's subtracting that big staircase that's on the outside of the building.
I got you. Is that deck up there existing?
No, he's getting rid of that. He's
Oh,
getting
okay.
rid of the deck.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Val,
I think it's fine, Mr. Chair.
okay, you can say that. Diane,
I think it's fine also.
okay, that's good. Good to hear. Stephen,
Yeah, I'm good with it
all right.
as submitted.
Yeah, I think we can, somebody can move to approve this one if you.
Motion to approve.
All right, so Val has made a motion to approve. On that motion, Diane,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Ray, aye. Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Yeah, good
Thank
night.
you.
Okay,
Brooke,
can somebody tell me what's up next?
Next is Lily Baker
38 Monahan.
at 38.
Okay,
No,
so Brooke is here to represent this. Brooke?
I'm here.
All right, good. And Brooke, the associate, because Abby is no longer with it, will be Carrie, okay?
All right. Yeah.
Okay,
All right. So this building, which is, we tried to move it to
yeah.
28 Prospect Street. I don't know if you remember that.
We do.
But we have decided now to try and move it on to 38 Monahanset. The immediately abutting neighbor is runway 24 at the airport, and property to the north, a large property to the north, and a large property to the west, and then Monahanset Road. This is a one-story structure. On the site plan, those gray lines are shown just for illustrative purposes. That is not what we are doing right now, and I don't know that we even intend to do that. But what is being considered is this building. The blue line represents what is existing being moved on, and the red lines indicate some of the modifications that we're making. One to help with the front entry to make it a little bit more like a front entry. The deck area has been reduced from what it is over at 119 Eel Point Road. And then there's just some miscellaneous window wells. As you can see, this building is set back a fair amount, probably a couple 100 feet from Monahanset. It's a fairly well vegetated lot. And I guess that's all I've got right now. I think it's 16 and a half or 17 feet tall.
Right. So the things that you're adding on, are they bubbled here or?
Yeah, so this is the as-built drawing. If you keep scrolling, please.
Okay.
Right there. So
Yep.
that's the south elevation. That's a shed roof facing towards us, and that faces Monahanset.
Okay. Good.
And I think everything else is
Motion
fairly
to
self.
approve.
Well, there you go. She cut your narrative short.
I'll take it.
Yeah, right. Okay, so on Val's motion to approve as submitted. And if any board member has any concerns about this, they can do it while the motion is being taken. So Carrie, where are you?
I'm an aye.
Okay, thank you. John?
I would question the way
Yep.
it looks with the two skylights opposite each other. It gives a see-through effect.
Well, but
Alright.
John, I think those skylights are with the existing building that's being relocated,
Okay,
not adding those.
I got you.
See those skylights on the existing building?
Yeah,
Th-
no, I
th-
just
There's
question.
one right there.
I just question whether there was a see-through. There isn't, I guess. No, I agree with the motion.
Okay, very good. So that's an aye, John. Thank you. And Diane? Up, Diane?
Aye, sorry.
There
my
we go.
kids-
Diane
got-
says aye. On Val?
Aye.
Thank you. And I'm in favor of that motion. So that motion carries. Thank you, Brooke.
All right, thank you all.
Mr. Chair, the
Yes.
next two I'd like to hold, please.
Okay, can we have a motion to do so? That motion would be, Stephen, you're going to sit on this. Oh, actually, because you're representing Val, it will be Stephen and Carrie.
Right, and I went to HSAB on the first one. I have some changes to make, and I
Yeah.
just want to hold the second one till next week.
I make a motion to hold those two.
All right, thanks, Diane.
6
On-
and 7.
Yeah, on Diane's motion, John.
The motion is to hold number 6.
The
And
motion is to
7.
hold both of Val's applications.
Repeat that, please. I'm sorry, my hearing aids are broken.
So 6 and 7, right?
Yes,
What's
Yeah.
it?
We're holding 6 and 7. That was the motion.
Okay,
Well, are you okay with the motion?
yes. Thank
Okay, great. Thank you. Stephen? How about Carrie?
Aye.
Okay, Diane?
Aye,
Very good. And did we lose Stephen? I see him on the screen here.
I
Stephen?
think he's having technical difficulties.
Okay, well, listen, this is just a motion to hold, so.
Oh,
he doesn't-
right.
Okay, so I'm in favor, so that motion carries 4-0. Okay, so what's up next?
next one is 113 Hummock Pond Road.
Okay,
And Mr. Chair, this came in as an as-built.
okay.
Um,
We have somebody to rep?
I'm looking at the moment. Doesn't look like it.
What, is it like this whole thing?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And you can see it from the street.
Oh, boy. That's one heck of an as-built. Oh, God. What were they thinking? Okay, so if we have no rep, that's not fair to the applicant, so we really need to
Motion
hold.
to hold for representation.
Thank you. And Carrie, because we're lacking Abby, can you sit on this?
Yes.
So Val has made a motion to hold for representation. Carrie?
Aye.
Thank you. John?
Aye.
Thank you. Diane?
Aye,
Thank you. Val?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. That motion carries. Next
And
up.
then the next two, Mr. Chair, I cannot sit on.
Okay, fair enough. Now, do we have Stephen back? I see him there.
Yeah, me too.
well,
Mr.
the,
Chair, it looks like Stephen has audio but no visual.
Oh, he's
So-
Well, if he has audio, he should be able to unmute and we'd be able to hear him.
Zoom, I've lost it twice. I've had to restart it tonight. Like it
Yeah.
was just coming on. I don't know what's wrong.
Well, let's see here. Who's representing this, by the way?
Lori Geddes is here.
Sorry?
Lori Geddes for Bessie Construction is on.
Oh, very good. Oh, here comes Stephen. I'd rather proceed with a 5-person board if we can. So he's coming back on. So Laurie, if you can hear me, your board tonight is going to be Diane, John, Stephen, Carrie, and myself.
Lori, you're muted.
Yeah, Laurie, you need to unmute. Yeah, you're still here.
We can see you moving.
Yeah.
Unmute.
There we are.
Good evening, everyone,
Hi there. How you doing?
and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you.
Did you hear what I said about your board?
No. I
Okay, so your board sitting because Val is recusing, all right?
Yes.
So you're gonna have Diane, John McLaughlin, Stephen Welch, who I believe just rejoined us, and Carrie Thornwell and myself. Okay,
Wonderful.
all right. So do we have something to look at on the screen now? Kathy or Holly?
Yeah, so, Mr. Chair, this came in as they had demoed the house without a permit. So they're addressing the demo and I believe they paid the fine and are proposing the new dwelling.
Okay, where is this? Oh, where is this?
This was supposed to be,
Morgan Square.
It's down Popus
It's
Road.
down by the it's down by the sewer beds.
Yes.
so this was supposed to be an addition. And I got a call from a neighbor.
I believe it was Diane who said that there was another one coming in when we were reviewing this sort of demo, unapproved demo thing the last time we convened. This must
Right.
be.
Yeah, so they're here to rectify it, so.
All right. So there's the building. It's a fireplace and a first floor platform.
Exactly.
And what were we doing with this?
So on November 2nd, we were approved for a building permit for an addition,
Yep.
which underneath where the chimney is in the first floor system is a
Yeah.
crawl space. We
Right.
added in the rear to the addition another foundation.
Okay.
So the HDC plans were approved for exactly what we're building. But when we got the architectural plans permitted, we
Yeah.
could not be built without removing the second floor system walls, roof, and covered porches. The structural drawings permitted show details for all framing except the first floor system, in which we did not demo. The permit was issued on 11/2. We emailed the owner on 11/18, expressing our concerns about the first floor. The floor walls were to be raised higher on the first floor,
Okay.
and all doors and windows were to be reframed. The west wall was to be removed to accept the new addition. When we went in, there were several areas of rot, which you can see in the pictures under the first floor system, how rotted the building was.
Okay.
We were worried about structural integrity and energy concerns with sistering the wood because they were making the first floor walls higher. We did a Zoom call with the owners on 11/19/20, and we concluded that it made no sense to keep the last three walls. We were shut down on 12/9/20. There was 100% no egregious actions on the site. JD didn't even think about the demo permit. And he would be on with me, but his computer has no audio.
You're doing a fine job.
In the plans, what all changed was the wall height of the first floor, the roof pitches, the direction of the floor system, and the size of the porches, which I don't think you all have the structural plans, because those don't get submitted. But on the structurals, the second floor needed a whole new floor system and all new porches and roof and all new headers for the first floor walls.
Hey, so Laurie,
Yes.
you know, ordinarily, we're not really concerning ourselves with structural issues or anything like this. But so it just seems to me that,
Yeah, we ran into what do we do now?
well, okay, so
Work.
what it gets down to is this. If I understand all this correctly, and we had a very similar case either last week or the week before recently, where it was approved by the HCC as a renovation. And then the builder basically took everything down, which means that it's really a demolition. But at the end of the day, everything is going to be rebuilt the same way that this board already approved it as a renovation. Is that correct?
That is totally correct.
Okay. So it only has to do with the fact that the building has disappeared more or less. The chimney's still there and the first floor framing's there, but
The
everything
first
else
floor
is gone.
system. Yes.
Yeah. And
Which is shown on the structurals.
okay, but I can say with
I know you don't. Yes, I understand that.
Lori, so I can say with a certain degree of certainty that this is not an old building.
I am not sure, to tell you.
Look, it's got a concrete foundation. It's got a plywood deck. You know, it's not an old building. So that would be a tremendous concern for the board if it was, you would demolish an old contributing building, but that does not seem to be the case right now. So,
Correct.
yeah, 1988. Okay, 1988. Thank you, Holly. I think you just did that. That's great. Okay, so board members, I think that you'll get the thing here. It's not dissimilar from what we had to go through a couple of weeks ago with the other application. I'd like to hear from you folks. So if you're ready,
Okay.
let me just make sure of something too. Do we have Stephen on board?
I don't see
Sure.
him.
He's
Ah,
was here. I was messaging with him and he said that the internet's been unstable today. But I did mention that I would read his comments into the record for him if he typed them in, but now I don't see him in the.
well, I'm sorry. I was catching about every other word of what you were saying, Holly.
I was going to read his comments into the record. He was here. All he could do was type. He didn't have his microphone, but it looks like he's not even in the Zoom right now.
Okay, so Laurie,
Yes.
we're having some technical difficulties getting Stephen Welch in this conversation. So how would you feel about proceeding with a 4-person board?
That would be fine.
Okay, I think it's a safe bet. Okay, and if it really becomes a problem and this meeting gets carried over, Stephen can always mull back in, and then you would be back to a 5-person board. So I think we should just proceed. Excuse me. So
I'll go.
who is that?
Carrie.
Oh, Carrie. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it looks to me like the building that existed would have most likely been approved to demo had it been applied for.
I agree.
I think that's important. And it's going to be built as was approved originally. The one thing I would say though is, okay, so JD Bessie, he's an islander who's been here for a long time working. I would just hope that now he knows that you got to stop and wait and go for the demo permit before you can continue on. And then also just to say that this should be talked about, that you really got to stop and go for the demo before you continue on. Because if this becomes practice, it's kind of scary. This particular building, it doesn't seem like a big deal. I think it would have been approved to demo, but those are my comments.
Other buildings, it could have been a big deal. And
Other
that,
buildings could have been, yes.
so that reminds me of one thing. Kathy, did we get the 10 times the demo fee?
I don't see it in our
No,
permitting system. Lori, you didn't pay the $1,000?
no, we did not, because we were not giving it. We were told we had to wait till the HDC meeting.
Yeah, there's no notes on
that.
I apologize, Mr. Chair. There's no notes on the application I have, so that would be a,
Yeah, I was told I couldn't pay it until the board decided what my payment would be.
Well, so ordinarily in cases like this, Laurie, if it's done without board's approval, we levy 10 times the normal application, which
I understand.
$100 for a demo, which would equal $1,000. Is that what we're talking?
yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that would be important to do as part of our motion, but I would like to hear also from Diane.
Yeah, I am with Carrie on the fact that the gentleman is an Islander, has built here before, and he had to have known that he has to apply for a certificate from the HCC on anything. And to blatantly do this because he wanted to get it over with doesn't portend well if other places do it. And I believe this came up the last discussion we had, that if you get away with it for $1,000, that's cheap than going through the whole thing. I think that we really need to make it more expensive, make it something or other. And I don't know what all the structure that she's talking about, that Laurie's talking about on the first floor. I don't know why it couldn't have been done piecemeal, why the walls didn't remain while something else was being done. That's the rules. That's when the building over at Hatches was redone, that happened to turn out to be the fish market. They left up 2 walls and the John wall. And they worked around it. And I think that's our rule, and it should be adhered to and made to be important. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you,
Chair.
Diane. John.
My question is, are they going to replace it like kind as what was there before?
Well, so John, the story is
Oh,
there was an existing house.
Right,
They came in and they had renovations to that existing house, which we approved. So they plan to go through, and the end result will look exactly the same. The difference is that they didn't save the walls that they were supposed to save. So those walls will be new. But the end result is they will build it according to the drawings that we approved.
you want a motion on this?
Sure, as long as your motion would include levying.
If I
the-
made a motion, it would be for 9 and 10. Both.
Wait, hang on, John, I didn't hear you. Could you try that again? John,
Yes.
what was your motion?
If I was going to make a motion on this, you're going to replace the like kind on the number 10 and demo number 9. That would be my motion to approve it.
You know, without having, I don't have the agenda in front of me. Is this 2 applications?
Yes, it is.
yes, it is.
Oh, okay. So one is for a demo and one is for,
A new building.
okay.
New
So John, your
building.
motion is to approve both of those, but I think that, could you include the 10 times the fee for the demolition because it was done without our approval? Could you do that?
Say that again, please.
Okay, so ordinarily, if somebody demolishes something without our approval first, we charge them 10 times the normal fee, which would be $1,000. Could we include that as part of the motion, please?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So John has made a motion to approve both the new building and the demolition, but to levy the 10 times the normal demolition fee, which is $1,000. So on John's motion, Diane?
Can I just ask a question?
Yes.
Is our number 9, which is the new dwelling, is it the new dwelling that was approved
Yes.
back, or is it a new?
It was the same, it's the same thing that was already approved as a renovation. Am I correct, Kathy?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, yes, answer is yes.
Okay, so Diane's in favor of John's motion. Carrie,
Aye.
thank you. John,
Aye.
thank you. And I'm in favor, so that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, night, night.
And sorry about that.
Well, let's just make sure it doesn't happen again. Tell that JD, you know.
We
come
do.
see us.
I definitely will. He said to me today that he didn't even think of it, but we couldn't save the walls in the building per the
Well,
plan.
they looked very rotten. I could tell from the photograph. So
And tell other builders.
yeah, spread the
Okay.
word. Spread the
Spread
word.
the word.
I'll spread the word.
Okay. All right. Night, night, Lori.
Night, night.
Let's
Next.
see. Who's up next?
There's
That's
nobody
it.
up next. That's it.
What?
We
Yep.
No,
finished
that's
an
impossible.
agenda,
It's not even 7 o'clock.
Mr. Chairman,
Don't jinx it.
but it's not April 1st either.
No.
It's
John,
not Tuesday.
John, what did you have to say, sir?
no, I have to say, it's excited about these, when we open an application,
Yeah.
that to have a certain size that you cheap it up to, because I have to keep asking to have it, and it affects my thinking. Thank you.
Well, so John,
Yeah.
listen, we all agree. I don't think there's a person who's on this session right now that would disagree that Zoom is a very, very difficult and imperfect medium for us. You know, it's much better to have the full-size drawings at the table that we can all put our rulers to and everything. So the best that we're going to be able to do is, if you are having a difficult time reading something, Holly is right there. She's going to be able to blow it up for you. She'll blow it up as big as you want so that you can read everything that's said, okay? That's
Okay.
our promise
I
to
also have a suggestion, Mr. Chair.
Oh, well, sure, yeah.
We get this agenda on Friday, generally by Friday. That gives
Correct.
everybody a few days to look at it on their own computer in their own time and maybe blow it up themselves.
Good point.
I
Absolutely.
have not that expertise yet. I'm working on it.
We're sending,
Nor do
we'll
I.
send Stephen over.
All right.
Well,
Hey, so, thank you, John. Now, do we have any other business that we need to attend to before we adjourn for the evening?
Just a quick reminder, we have a meeting on Tuesday night at 4:30. It's old business.
And
Right.
tomorrow,
Tomorrow something.
Yes,
have a
do
meeting-
not forget
What's-
tomorrow.
We have a
That's
meeting at,
on-
Hang on,
what, 10 o'clock,
wait,
1.
Holly, what were you saying?
Tomorrow is Resilient Nantucket. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
That's the meeting?
Yep.
Yes,
Is that the meeting that Diane's talking about?
yes,
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
so it's 1 o'clock.
yes,
1
that
o'clock.
one's at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Yes, with our consultants from Resilient Nantucket, as well as you'll have an introduction into the coastal resiliency plan.
And
That
how
has been
long is that
posted.
one so we can make a plan?
I'm sorry.
How long is that one? Just so we
It
can
should be
plan.
no longer than an hour and a half of what Chair has given us.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, John.
I want to write that down. Would you repeat what she just said?
Okay. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, John.
Yeah.
There is a meeting, a Zoom meeting for the Coastal Resilience Plan. Okay?
I got it here somewhere. Yeah.
It should take an hour and a half. And Holly, you've distributed the Zoom link and all that, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing, but I will send before I leave this.
I think it would be important. just
I
to
will send
it
that to
around
everybody
again.
for a
Yeah.
reminder. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, that's tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Yes,
Tomorrow-
sir.
At 1
And,
o'clock.
yeah, I have one other comment.
Yes, sir.
I like the staff is doing pretty well. Thank you.
pretty well.
Thank
Under the
you.
circumstances, John, I would say they're doing
Nothing's 100%.
extraordinarily well.
Nothing is 100%.
Yeah, no, they're doing a great job.
Nobody's
And
perfect.
These are trying times. Okay, anything else under other business that we need to look after?
Motion to adjourn.
Well, hang on, John. I want to make sure.
No,
You good?
yes, we're good.
All right, so then I'm going to take up John's motion to adjourn. On John's motion to adjourn, Diane,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
John. John, all right? And
thank
I am in
everybody.
favor of that motion. Good night, everyone. It was nice seeing
Good
all of
night.
you. Thanks for your
Night.
time on Thursday evening. And we'll see you next time. All right,
Toodles.
bye, folks.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Aye.
Good night.